Hi, today I'm going to be showing you my take on a Black Forest muffin, and it's a really delicious recipe. It uses dark chocolate for the sponge. We've got some whipped cream with a little bit of cream cheese in there to give us a really sturdy whipped cream. It's lovely. And also we've got some fresh cherries. So I'm going to talk you through some of the ingredients that I've got, and I'll show you this really quickly. I'm going to try and keep this video quite short for you, but if you do have any queries, you're welcome to leave me a comment in the box below. So to whiz through the ingredients, first of all, we've got dark chocolate. This is 50 grams of a really good quality dark chocolate. This is a 72% cocoa solid chocolate. I also have 45 grams of butter at room temperature. I've separated an egg into the egg and the yolk. I have some brown sugar. This is a light, soft brown sugar. You can alternatively use a golden castor sugar or a dark brown sugar. I also have 125 mils of milk and some cherry jam. I also have some fresh cherries, complete with stones, and in here I have 90 grams of self-raising flour, 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder, 10 grams of cocoa, and a pinch of salt. So I'm going to be using all of these things to make this really lovely cake. I'll whiz through it quite quickly, and here we go. So I'm ready to start, and I want to show you what I've done before I actually get started making the cake batter. This is my chocolate. It took me 1 minute to melt it in the microwave. I melted it for 30 seconds first, took it out, had a look, put it in for 15 more seconds, took it out, had a look, put it in for another 15 seconds. Mine is an 800 watt microwave, so hopefully that'll give you some idea. There is no way that this chocolate should be in for more than a minute, so no matter what it looks like, don't put it in for more than a minute. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm mixing it, and you can see that even though I started off with lumps a few seconds ago, the heat of it means I can just stir it all around and it's melted. So I'm going to put this down on the side now, and this will cool. I'll probably be using this in about 2 or 3 minutes, but I want to give it an opportunity to cool down a little. And also, my cherries, I cut them into little pieces. There's 1 cherry roughly for each cake. I'm only making 6 cakes from this recipe. I turned it on the oven. I did not preheat it first. Put it on 100 degrees centigrade. I put this is lined parchment paper, on a baking tray right at the very bottom of the oven. The oven was on for 10 minutes. I then switched the oven off and left them in there for another hour, and they've slightly shriveled. What you want to do really is stop them from being quite so juicy. So they're still juicy, but they're not dripping with juice the way they were before. So this is going to be perfect for putting inside the cake. So the next part is to cream together our butter and sugar. I'm then going to add the egg yolk and mix that in. And then after that, I'm going to add the chocolate and mix that in. And then I'll show you what it looks like. So this is now mixed together. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to sift in some of my flour cocoa mixture. Then I'm going to pour a little bit of milk in, just half of the amount. Then I'm going to mix it together. Then I'm going to pour the last half of the flour mixture, and then I'm going to mix in the last part of the milk mixture, and then we'll start to see it come together. So now it's all mixed together. You can see here it's a nice even colour all the way through. The last stage of this is to beat this until it's sort of stiff. So once it's stiff, I'm going to fold it into the mixture. Then I'm going to add my cherries, which I have here, and then I will fold it all together, put it into muffin tins. Now, one of the extra things that you can do, and it's completely optional, is to half fill your muffin cases and then add a spoonful of cherry jam. Now, you can't get it everywhere, but I picked this up from my local supermarket. It's a reduced sugar Morello cherry jam, and you can just put a spoonful of this in there and then just cover it over with a little bit of batter, and it just gives an extra sort of cherry flavour. And if you also want to, you can mix this with some kirsch before you add it, so it's a little optional extra if you want it, and that's a cherry flavoured liqueur. So I'm going to do this and I will show you what it looks like, which will mostly be brown and lumpy, but it will be absolutely delicious, so I'll show you when I've done it. My egg white is whisked, and now what I'm going to do is just pop that in there and fold it in. Now it's up to you whether or not you want to go for stiffer peaks than this. I find that this is absolutely fine for me, but if you do want to go for stiffer ones, you can do it. You'll probably just be whisking for an extra 2 or 3. As you can see, I have filled these up. There's a bit of cherry jam in the middle. I'm just going to bang it down. That just sort of levels it out a little bit. And now I'm going to pop it in the oven, and it'll take about 25 minutes. The cupcakes are out of the oven, so now what I'm ready to do is make my frosting. I took the cupcakes out and I left them out for about an hour and a half. So once I've made this frosting, I'm just going to pop these on top of the cakes and I'll show you what it looks like. Now this is quite a sturdy frosting. It's actually got cream cheese and double cream in it. And normally I'd just use double cream if I was making this regular Black Forest Gâteau. But instead I'm adding cream cheese as it adds a little bit more structure to it. So I'm just going to show you really quickly. It's so simple. I have 50 grams of granulated white sugar in a bowl with a little bit of vanilla flavouring. I've got 100 grams of cream cheese, that's full fat, and I have double cream, which I think is sometimes known as heavy whipping cream, and this just basically has a really high fat content, which is bad for your waistline, but it tastes amazing. And all I'm going to do is add the cream cheese to the sugar, and we're going to mix that around, and then I'm going to gradually add this cream, and then once it's thick enough, it'll be ready to pipe. So you can see here, this is quite thick, and I'm going to be piping mine, but you could certainly just apply yours with a spatula or the back of a spoon. So I'm going to show you what mine look like, and I hope it gives you some inspiration.